Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today's video topic is co-prime numbers. In this video we will learn that what are co-prime numbers, how to find that a pair of given numbers are co-prime or not. Okay. So many of you are still confused between prime and co-prime numbers because the word prime is coming in this word co-prime. Okay. But in reality these two are not related at all. Okay. So let's discuss that what are prime numbers first. Prime numbers are the numbers which have only two factors, 1 and the number itself. Means the number which is divisible by only itself and by 1 is known as prime number. For example, let's take 2. 2 is our smallest and only even prime number. It is only divisible by 1. So 1 is a factor of every number. Just remember, every number is divisible by 1 and 2. So because the number 2 is having only two factors, hence it will be a prime number. Okay, let's take a number 3. 3 is again divisible by 1 and by itself. Hence 3 is also a prime number. Let's take another number. Now I am taking 8. So the number 8, again the first factor will be 1 itself. 8 is divisible by 1. It is divisible by 2. It is divisible by 4 and then by itself. So now you can see that this number has more than two factors. Hence it will not be a prime number, it will be a composite number. Okay, so that was all about prime numbers. Now moving on to today's topic, that is co-prime numbers. So as the definition is given, a pair of numbers that has only one common factor, that is 1 only. Okay, or we can define it by another way. It can be defined by various ways. The numbers whose HCF is 1. So HCF stands for highest common factor. Okay, and it is also known as GCD, or we can say greatest common divisor. Okay, now whenever we have to find out, suppose these are some examples are given. Okay, numbers are given, so we have to find out that whether these numbers are co-prime or not. Okay. If you will see that 8 is not a prime number, it's a composite number. 15 is also a composite number, it's not a prime number. So it will not necessarily that the given numbers will always be prime numbers. No, prime numbers and co-prime numbers are totally different topics. Understood? Co-prime numbers only we have to check for the factors. If they have only one common factor, that is 1, means they don't have any other common factor. That means that pair will be considered as co-prime numbers. Okay. Later on, after this, we will cover some properties of co-prime numbers also. Okay. I will tell you some cases that when the numbers are said to be co-prime numbers. Now, let me just talk about this first example. It is 8 and 15. And we have to check that whether this is co-prime or not. So, let's write the factors of 8. Factors of 8. First factor is 1. It is divisible by 2. 2 times 4, 2 4 is 8. Then 4 and then 8 itself. So these are the factors of 8. Now moving on to the next number 15. Again 1 will be the factor of every number. Then 15 will be divisible by 3, not by 2. Okay. Then 5 and number itself 15. Now let's look for the common factors. See, you will find that they have only one common factor, that is 1. Or we can say that the HCF of these two numbers is 1. Hence, this pair of number 8 and 15 will be a co-prime number. Okay, so this pair is known as co-prime numbers. Now, similarly, we will check for the second one. So let's check. So as it is clear that 12 and 21 will have a common factor, that is 3, because 12 is divisible by 3, 21 is also divisible by 3. Okay, so these numbers have one more common factor, that is 3 apart from 1. So hence this will not be a co-prime number, but let's solve it. Okay, so the factors of 12 will be 1, then it is divisible by 2, then by 3, then 4, then 6 and 12. Okay, now similarly we will write the factors of 21. 1, then 3, then 7 and then 21. Now circle the common factors 1 and 3. Now if I will ask the SCF of these two numbers, it will be 3. The highest common factor of these two numbers will be 3. It is not 1. Hence this pair will not be a co-prime number. This is not a pair of co-prime numbers. Okay, by looking at number only you will understand that whether they are divisible by the same number, whether they have any other common factor apart from 1, and you will get to know about co-prime numbers. Okay. Now let's move on to this third example. It is 18 and 35. So let's write the factors of 18. Let's write the factors of 35. So 18, first factor, always write the first factor 1. Then 18 is divisible by 2. Okay. It comes in the table of 3 as well. Then it is divisible by 6. Then by 9. And then by number itself. Okay. Now let's write the factors of 35. Again 1. Then 35 will not be divisible by 2. It will not be divisible by 3. Not by 4. Only by 5. Then after 5, 7. And then the number itself, 35. Okay. Now let's find out the common factors. 1 is a common factor. Now check for 2. 2 is here but not here. 3 is also not here. 6 is also not here. This means these two numbers have only one common factor. Hence their SCF will be 1, or this is a pair of co-prime numbers. So 18 and 35 are co-prime numbers. Okay. Now let's move on to our next number, 90 and 105. So again, what you have to do, you have to find out the SCF. Or you can see that 90 is divisible by 15, and this also comes in the table of 15. 15 times 6, 15 times 7. Okay. So there are many common factors between these two. 5 is also common. So let's find out its SCF. Okay. Here I am using division method. So in division method, as you all know, the smaller number will come outside, the bigger number will come inside. Then 90 was a 90. Let's subtract. We will get 15. Now this remainder will become our next divisor, and this previous divisor will become our dividend. Okay. Then 15 6 are 90. This means the SCF of these two numbers is 15. Our last divisor is 15. So SCF will be 15. Hence this pair is not a pair of co-prime numbers. These are not co-prime numbers. Okay. Now we can take some other examples randomly. Let's take a number. Let's take a pair 20 and 60. So only by looking at the numbers you will understand that these two numbers have many common factors. 1, then both the numbers are divisible by 2, 2, after that 5, then 10 and then 20 also. So they have many common factors. Hence this pair of number will not be a co-prime numbers. Okay. Now let's move on to some common properties of co-prime numbers. In short only I will tell you. See, as the word is coming, prime. So any two, a pair of two prime numbers will always be a co-prime numbers. Okay. So if both the numbers are prime numbers, then that pair, that given pair will always be co-prime numbers. Okay, that will be a pair of co-prime numbers, because as prime numbers you know that has only two factors, one in the number itself. So they will have only one common factor, that is 1. Hence a pair of prime numbers will always be a pair of co-prime numbers. This is the first and the most important property of co-prime numbers. Understood? The second is, if the SCF of two numbers is given 1, then you can directly write that given pair is a co-prime numbers. That given pair is a pair of co-prime numbers. Okay? Because you know when the SCF is 1, that means they have only one common factor. Now the next thing, two successive numbers. Okay? Our two consecutive numbers we can say, successive numbers we can say, will always be a pair of co-prime numbers. Let's take any number. Let's take 3 and 4. These two are co-prime numbers. You can take any two successive numbers. 6 and 7 are co-prime numbers. You can even check by finding their factors. 21, 22. This is also a pair of co-prime numbers. 24, 25 are also co-prime numbers. Means if suppose you are giving any competitive exam or there is some question in an exam, okay, and these type of pairs are given, so you can, instead of writing the factors and wasting your time, you can just look for the properties. You can just check that in the given pair, if both the numbers are prime numbers, then you can easily understand that, you can easily identify that pair is a co-prime numbers. Okay, if the SCF is given 1, then also that given pair will be a pair of co-prime numbers. If in the given pair both the numbers are successive numbers, then also that pair will be a pair of co-prime numbers. Okay, there are many more other properties that we will discuss in another video. So that's all for today's video. I hope that now you understood this concept, this very small and the easy concept of co-prime numbers. So don't be confused between prime and co-prime numbers. Okay, co-prime numbers can be composite numbers also, not always prime numbers. So see you in the next video. Till the time, goodbye, take care. Thanks for watching.